Well, good morning. I'm Dr. Rob Borer here at Borer Family Chiropractic, and I'm sitting today with a patient who's been a member of our office for quite some time, Lynn. So, good morning.
Good morning.
And Lynn has very graciously offered to share a few reflections, a few minutes of reflecting on her experience in our office over the years. So welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
So you started here in 2004.
Wow.
So that was 15 years ago.
That's amazing.
Exactly. It's been a while. So we thought, this year we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and
Congratulations.
thank you. So we thought you might be an appropriate individual who's been with us a while to share some thoughts on your experience. Would you like to start with just what it was like when you first began?
Sure. When I first met you, I had been going to a medical doctor for my neck. I had terrible problems with my neck, my headaches, down my shoulder and arm. I couldn't sleep in a bed. I was sitting in a recliner, and it gotten to the point where I couldn't hardly care for my children. And I'd been to physical therapy. They had tried everything at the medical office that they knew to do, and the next step was to get injections in my neck. And I said, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that. And so I was trying to find other methods to take care of the issue. And physical therapy it would help when I was there at the office getting a treatment, but my symptoms would come back just as soon as I left. So shortly after that, I met you at Saline Fair in the exhibition.
Right, where all
there.
the vendors are.
And I don't know what, I can't say what drew me, but it was something that drew me just to your presence and what we had to discuss that day. So I set an appointment and started coming, and it was, I'm not going to say it was like the very first time I was adjusted, but it was within the first couple of adjustments that everything changed. My headaches were lessened, and it was just amazing to me that just the adjustment of because at that time we were just doing the upper cervical, that made such a difference. Yeah. And everything changed. I could sleep, I could get up. It was to the point, I was in such a position that I could not lay down and then get back up because I was just in so much pain. And all of that changed. Just with adjustments, I stopped taking all medications. I didn't have any pain medications, no more physical therapy. It was and I had always, from a very young age, because I was in a snowmobile accident when I was about 13, I had lower back pain, and we would go out, as we would call it, where the muscles would just lock up so much I couldn't walk, couldn't move, and that went away too. And
just the neck adjustments made the low back pain go away as well.
And that blew my mind because I couldn't understand how not adjusting my spine would fix that, but it did. And it made such an impact on my life that I just told everyone I could about this place, because it was no medication, everything was natural, and it was just a quick adjustment that took no time at all. And then I think I had read something in your office about some of the effects of the upper cervical adjustment and how there are other medical issues that it can help alleviate, such as sinuses and just muscle aches and pains, and even ADD and ADHD. And so unexpected benefit, other than my lower back issues, was my son. My son he wasn't nonverbal by any stretch, but he rarely would meet you in the eye when you talked to him. He wasn't ever diagnosed ADD or ADHD, but definitely exhibited those tendencies. And so I started bringing my son and my daughter, and it got so bad to the point that, the effects were so great that my husband actually joked one time that he was going to sue you for making my son talk. He never stopped talking after that.
Yeah.
So it became...
It was a double-edged sword,
It was.
right, resolving that.
My son, it was just a difference altogether. And after we started coming for adjustments, my son perked up. He became a wonderful student, and he actually graduated, which I would have to tell you that there was times in middle school I wasn't sure we were going to get there. He graduated, went to college, and now he's a Marine. So
yeah, what a wonderful story. Yeah, no, I don't even know that I knew that as I was seeing him. That's maybe one of those things that you, as a mom, was noticing.
Absolutely.
And I was more focused on maybe more the aches and pains, or maybe those things that you were highlighting for when he was in the office. But that's a wonderful story.
It was such a wonderful thing to see him kind of open and blossom. Mm-hmm. It was there that I could tell such a difference in his communication. It almost was that I felt as though there was something was constricted and it just opened up. Mm-hmm. And it just...
Right, well, quite literally, that is what we do, right? We just remove those obstructions to letting the body flourish and fully express its health. And often there's just some issues that is bottling that up, and then once we kind of release that, the body takes over.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
I witnessed it in my son's life.
Isn't that wonderful? Wow, so that's fantastic. So thank you for sharing that. I really am really amazed and humbled to hear that. Really appreciative to know that. So obviously things have improved with the headaches and the neck pain since you started. You're still coming in for care. Are things not necessarily as bad now? What brings you in now?
More so maintenance. I can tell when we started our care, I was coming in 3 times a week, and I would need adjustments. And then as time would go and I maybe wouldn't need an adjustment, we would extend the time period between visits. And now I think I don't come in very often,
right?
Because I don't need to, but I know exactly when, because I do have, well, I'm getting older, and as our muscles and bones age, I think that if I sleep wrong or so, just for example, I think it was last week, I started having some hip and knee pain, and I did my stretches, I went and exercised, and it just wasn't going away, and I said, I need an adjustment. And sure enough, I needed an adjustment, and it was gone.
And it did.
It was like the next morning I woke up and I was fine.
Beautiful. Wow, wonderful. So yeah, I mean, at this stage where we've been working together for so long, it's just a matter of, at this point, fine tuning. Then in the early stages, it's more like a major overhaul to get things kind of on track and get back on a better trajectory. But at this stage, you don't need to come in very frequently, and it doesn't take a lot to get you back on track and keep things on track. So so you've gotten to a good place in your care. So wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience?
I would, because I think that one of the other benefits to coming in here is I really liked how you kept your office sort of as an oasis. Very quiet, very calming, very soothing, and you emphasize that in your care plans, that you wanted to keep the office free of phone calls and games and music. And I think that contributed. My children would always love to come here because it was so calming, and they would even as because you figure 15 years ago my son would have been 8 years old, and he was a little bit more active than probably your normal 8-year-old, but he likes to come here because it was calming and soothing, and I always thought that was an important part of the care package, is that it was just a calming atmosphere. It was soothing to come in here and sit down, and it was an important part.
Wonderful.
So I just wanted you to know
Yeah.
that too.
Well, that's a really nice feedback too, because that is a little bit what we've tried to accomplish. That was maybe one of our visions, is to have it be a little bit of an oasis. Is actually my exact words I would use. That's wonderful that you yourself have that same perception. So I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes you actually find out you actually succeeded in maybe accomplishing what you set off to do. So that's wonderful. Well, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Lynn, for sharing this time to help me understand better how I've been fortunate to serve you, and I do feel very, very fortunate to have had your whole family here, and the opportunity to be able to allow my talents to be able to be of benefit to you. So I'm really, really very happy.
I am a firm believer that while you may not have, I always tell people you saved my life, even though maybe you didn't actually save it. I don't think I was going to actually pass from the pain, but definitely changed it.
Wow.
Definitely changed my life, because
Fantastic.
that was an awful experience.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
helped me get back to where I needed to be.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm just so happy that our paths crossed, and